Good morning, everybody. Welcome
Hello.
to Terrific Terry Tuesday. We're adding to our alliteration today. Sorry that we missed Money Monday yesterday, but yours truly was not having the best day. Unfortunately, that happens sometimes, right, Terry?
It does, yeah, absolutely. So
Yes, indeed. So hopefully, it's too bad too because Terry was hot yesterday at
I
Parks. Tell us
was,
about it.
yeah, I hit two pick fours and my, best bet of the day. I won that. I paid pretty good, and it had, I played several deals in there like exactas and doubles, and all of them paid off. I actually collected just about $499 for my $100. So
Ah, wow. Terry had a phenomenal day yesterday, and unfortunately, we didn't go live. So, that's the big 40-pound bass that got away, Terry.
it is, yeah, and that's usually how it happens when it's just like when you don't go to the races and play, you do really good. Then when you do, sometimes it doesn't work out.
Good morning, Raphael. How you feeling today, brother? Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. We got some new stuff to introduce today, too. It's one of the reasons we're a little bit delayed today. So I have some time with my math wizard son. Terry, you are echoing a little bit. And we're working on some stuff in Excel. And his girlfriend is away for a few weeks. So we actually get his time for a few minutes. Real quick, before we get rolling, if you're going to bet at Turf Paradise today, it is the free track of the day over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There is a link down in the description below. Make sure you check that out. Tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, we got a whole bunch of stuff going up on here. I don't know why, but JD Acosta will return to be our special guest with Sean and Julie. I think still, I'm not sure. I know Jamie is putting up pictures from South America and Brazil and so forth. Looks like a phenomenal place to visit. Haven't been there yet, but the beaches certainly look interesting. No question about that. Terry, wouldn't you say? Well, you're on mute, my friend. So it's the most brilliant thing you've ever said.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, it's gone unnoticed.
Yeah, it's really nice. I've been to Brazil before, so
Uh,
I'm kind of familiar with that. So
so,
yeah.
did you wear a Speedo or a thong when you were on the beach down there, Terry?
No, I'm too heavy for that stuff.
Yeah, but you can let loose down there, man, right?
Oh yeah,
Especially during Carnival. All right, so let's get cracking on race number 1 at Parx today. First race coming up not that long from now. The first race is expected to go in about 16 minutes. It is 1 mile and 70 yards on the main track, Terry. Well, they only have a main track there. Claiming 7,500 non-winners of 2 lifetime. And the way that you win at that distance at Parx, which is something we haven't covered a lot lately, it's actually a mile and a 16th, excuse me, is tactical speed. You would think at that long distance, it would favor horses to come from off the pace. So far in the 11 races, I think they've had at the distance, 45 of them have gone wire to wire. There is a small rail and a 2-3 bias. 4 through 7, a big discount. And in 8 and out, you get a big bonus, Terry. So the farther you're outside, probably the better off you are. And in race number 1, we have done our 1,000 simulations for early speed, as well as our simulated odds to get a sense of where we might find value, who might be on the lead when they get started. But we're introducing something new, as promised today, called Comfort Zone, Terry. And the Comfort Zone are based upon horses' prior winning races, and if they've only won one or haven't won any, their 2 best efforts. And it'll tell you based upon where they'll be at the quarter pole, if they're going to be in their comfort zone or will they be outside their comfort zone. I don't know how this is going to play out, but it'll be interesting to see if it points to any winners in here, Terry. What do you see in terms of the early speed and simulated odds?
Well, it looks like to me that 9's got the most speed in here, so we'll have to see what happens. And then as far as the comfort zone, he's at 47%, so it's pretty good. And then as far as overlays, you've got a small overlay on the 1, just under 3-1, and it's listed at 7-2 on the morning line. And then on the 9, you have a pretty nice overlay. It's supposed to be, a little over even money, and he's listed at 3-1 on the morning line.
Well, Raphael, sorry I could not see you yesterday. I tried everything possible. Still could not pick up your program. That's because we were off yesterday. Unfortunately, the whole day was off. Our guest for Horse Center canceled on us at the last minute because other pressing personal issues. And again, yesterday I wasn't having the best of days. Good morning to you as well, Barry. Good to see you again. Thoughts on race 3 with the 5 horse? Go for the kill and 1 Haley Soap. I'm torn between the 2 horses. Maybe you play what they call a Dutch bet between the 2 of them, right? In race number 1, we like to take a look at what the race shape might look like to get a sense of the kind of horse that could win. You see most of them want to close in here, Terry. The 10 horse was a part of the early speed, not going to be in. So it looks like the very small minority of your horses, the 1, the 3, the 1, the 9, and the 7, are the ones that are likely to be forwardly placed. And I think in this sort of race setup, I would prefer my horses to be towards the front and not in the back. So let's go ahead and talk about how we think our horses are going to finish.
All right. Well, I like that 9 as you were talking about. Tough workout. He finished in the money in 5 of his last 6 starts. He won one of those races. He has a high percentage winning jockey. And then I like the 1 Double Dealer. He's won his last race at Parx Racing. And the Rail Post is winning a 19% clip. And he has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Good combination. Number 4, Battle of Yorktown, is my 3rd pick. He has a high percentage winning jockey, has a trainer who wins 17% of the claiming races that he enters a horse in. And this horse can improve while returning to a route, as he has the highest speed figure at today's distance. And then number 6 is my long shot exclusive order, finished in the money in 2 out of 3 races, winning 1. And I'm going to play a $1 daily double. I'm going to use the 149 with the 268.
You're going to play a dollar. That's always good, right?
Yeah.
1 + 1 = 2. So that's a winner for Terry. So Barry's saying, Rich, what's the C zone? First time seeing this. Yeah, it is the first time we've introduced it. So what I've done is I've gone back and taken the data that's available to me. And this was a little bit of a process. And we worked. So if horses have, so we kept record of the winning races. And if the horse has only 1 win, then we did its next best finish as at the finish line, the closest it came to winning. And if it had no wins, maiden horses, then its 2 best efforts. And then we looked to see where that horse was during its 2 best efforts at the quarter-mile marker. So early on, how engaged were they when the race first started? What we found is in their winning efforts, the horses tended to be in kind of the same place over and over and over again, or at least more frequently than not. And then from there, what we said is based upon today's projected pace using the 1,000 simulations. So that's 1,000 simulations you see over there in the C zone based upon our quarter-mile markers. If these horses are actually going to be in the position where they're comfortable. Now, there are a couple oddities that we're going to add going forward. Most of the time, I like horses that are closer to the pace than they normally are. They might still register as a 0 here. We're going to make the adjustment to that in the next couple of days. Some of them are farther back. We don't want ones that are way off the pace that aren't accustomed to that. So there'll be a designation next to C zone with a plus or minus coming up. But what it basically means is the one horse has a 70% chance to be in its comfortable racing zone when it wins. So it won't be stressing itself in terms of its position on the track at the quarter-mile marker. I hope that made sense. I'm going to have to try to condense it down to like a tweet. So, the simpler it is to explain, the better off. For me in race number 1, Terry, I like the 1 horse is my top chick. Top chick. Are these girls or are they're men? But anyway, my top pick. When I do my quantitative ranking, it has a 9-point advantage over everybody else. Usually when they get around 10, you have to have them in your picks. Did show the top last race. Speed figure stands to improve in the 3rd race off the layoff. It is coming off the maiden claiming win in the 10th tried. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of horses coming off the maiden claiming win unless they run the top last race speed figure, which I mentioned Double Dealer did. Finally, number 9, tough work. Not finally, my 2nd pick, Tough Workout. This guy could be the lone E horse if it breaks on the lead. It's going to go longer today after running better 2 and 4 furlong pace numbers last out. Also, it looks like a pretty sizable value according to our simulator. Number 4, Battle of Yorktown does have the best early speed, late speeds combination score in the field. Did also run a little bit better fractions last out, usually a plus. Finally, exclusive order. That last race was absolutely brutal, Terry. But trainer Carlos Soto wins 19%, first off the claim, which compares favorably to his overall rate of 13%, which I call an alpha angle. I'm going to put together a $1 double like you, but I'm just going to go with the 1 and the 9. I think they're the class of the race, Terry, with the 2, 6, and 8. So we're pretty much the same thinking in the first leg there. Good morning, Raphael. How are you? Your pick 5 good to see you again. Not Raphael, Melvin. I'm sorry. I see Raphael's comment right above yours, Melvin, so I apologize. Pick 5, starting in race 1 with the 1, 3, 4, 9. Race number 2, singling up the 2. Race number 3, the 5, 6, and 9. Race 4, singling up the 10. A lot of good singles in there for Melvin this morning. And in race number 5, to close it out, 3, 4, 6, 8, and 9. Next up for us, Terry, is the second race at Parx. This one is going to be, if my mouse would just cooperate, 6 furlongs, claiming $7,500. Non-winners of 4 lifetime. The purse is $22,000. And at 6 furlongs, tactical speed is the way. You don't have to be on the lead. Probably second, third, or fourth, the best place to be. Although if you are on the lead, you got a 33% chance to go wire to wire. There is a barbell bias here. The rail and 8 and out outperform everything in the middle, Terry. Again, our simulator tells us in race number 2 that there's a couple scratches, but it shouldn't affect who's on the lead.
Yeah, that 1 and the 10 looks to have the most speed in here. But I think the 1's got the big advantage because he's on the rail, and he'll probably get to that quarter pole fine. And if he does, he's in his 92% comfort zone. So that's pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as an overlay goes, you've got the 2, which has got a good comfort zone too, if he gets there. And he's supposed to be like 7-2, and he's 6-1 in the morning line. And then the simulated odds on number 8 is supposed to be a little over even money. And he's listed at 3-1 in the morning line.
Good morning, Carlos. How are you? Good to see you as well, my friend. I see a little error I have down here. I have to do the color coordinating down here. I might think about trying to do this a little different because I don't know about you, Terry, but I think the colors matching up side by side like that kind of makes it difficult on the eyes. What do you think? You agree?
So,
I see the head shaking. Yeah. So we'll
Yeah,
figure out how to make that look prettier, folks.
You can make the greens yellow.
Yeah, I have some ideas in there that that I'm thinking about doing in terms of graphs that will make it easier to understand. In race number 2, I think there was a good scratch in here. The 7 horse could be one that's out. Again, most of your horses want to be middle back. The 7 and the 4 not participating today. Most of them want to be middle back. So you got 2 horses that want to be on the front, the 1 and the 10. Well, most want to be middle back. I think it can favor the horses that want to get to the front, Terry. I don't know what you think about that because neither one of us really have a whole lot of the speed up front. So we both like Boss Cara as our top pick.
Yeah, that's a PC horse, and she can either lead or come from off the pace to win, which is one of my favorite angles. And she won her last race at Parx Racing by going to the front. Her best start speed is fastest among today's starters, and she has a really nice bullet workout on March 8th.
So
and
before you move on, you mentioned it was a PC horse. That's from the our graph here, the PC horse. And the interesting thing, I'm going to change this up a little bit too, but your PC, as you mentioned, Terry, those are your most versatile horses. Correct. I'm actually going to take some of these PCs and add an A, and I think I'm going to put the A, I'm not sure in the front or where, but A's can win from anywhere on the track, which I know are some of your favorite type plays. So when you see a PC horse in your handicapping, understand that, so like you see that they've won on the front, you see they've won from the middle, you see they won from the back. Those horses are very versatile, and you almost have to have them highly considered when you're making your selections. Sorry to interrupt you, Terry.
That's all right. I like because my second pick, number 6, Turing Marianne, she won her last race at Parx Racing, has the highest last speed rating, a trainer jockey combination who in the last 14 days has won 2 out of 3 starts. And then number 8 is my third pick, Starship Blanca. She ran second in her last race and has a high percentage winning trainer. Number 5, Twirling Wind is my long shot, drops in class today and can handle this distance. I'm going to play a 50-cent trifecta. Rich trifecta, a 2-6 with a 2-6-8 with a 2-5-6-7-8.
Yes, you like that, Terry. But I'm also working on. I'm rereading Mr. David. All right, Betting Thoroughbreds by Stephen Davidowitz, and I'm going to spend a lot of time in that Appendix D. If you haven't got that book and you want to know about ticket structure, that's one I would absolutely 1,000% recommend. You don't get any cut for it. It just has some of the best betting strategy information in the back in that appendix that you're going to find anywhere. I've read a lot of books on this stuff. Race number 2, Boss Cara at Parx, 4 times out, 1 win, a couple of seconds. At the distance, 9 times out, 1 win, 5 seconds. So probably should put this one second with a third in there. Does have a decent workout since last running on February the 1st. Number 6, Touring Marianne, like you, Terry. Second choice, top last race speed figure with huge late race improvement last time out. And if you follow Parx long enough, you know that trainer Michael Pino does pretty well first time off the claim. In fact, wins at 21%. 8, Starship Blanca. It's another one that's a first off the claim. This time around for trainer Robert Moscow. He wins at 28% off the claim. This one does have the top early speed, late speed combination in the field. And finally, number 1, Jet Force. Either the 1 or the 10 is going to be on the front. Unlike the 10, this one showed a little bit more stamina late in its last race. So I think if there's one that's going to get to the front and go wire to wire, Terry, it's more likely to be the 1 than the 10, although it could be either. I'm going to do a rich trifecta as well, except I'm going to go with the 2, the 6, and the 8. We both agree, though, those are the top 3 picks. And then I'm going to put the 2 and the 6 in the middle because they both can't finish first. And then 1, 2, 6, 8, and 10, as I did put in both of the speed horses in my trifecta, just in case. In race number 1, we're about 2 minutes away, Terry, from race number 1. Do you want to go back to our picks for race number 1, or do you want to go off to race 3 and set it up?
I think we've got time, don't they? Yeah, it's about 2 minutes. I think we can set it up at least.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, so they're still walking around on the track. In race number 3, and then we decided to start a little bit closer to post time, too, so that we can kind of bounce back and forth between races. Of course, when the show's over, we do put all of the race times in our description at YouTube. So you can go back and just click on that time, and it'll take you to that race exactly. Thomas says number 11, Quasar will win. In which race, Thomas? Race number 2. All right, keep that in mind. Our good friend Tom Diemel says the 11 horse is going to win, something Terry and I do not have. In race 3, they're going to run 6 furlongs, Terry. And at 6 furlongs, again, we talked about tactical speed being the way to go to the winner's circle, although a third of the horses go wire to wire. And then post position wise for race number 3, you want to be either the rail or 8 and out. They're loading up, Terry. So let's just bounce back to race number 1 real quick to our picks. See what indeed we have here going in race number 1. According to our analysis, it looks like especially with the 10 horse being scratched, that 9 horse should have its way on the lead. Wouldn't you say, Terry?
Yeah, I would say that's probably true. And I think it's, if it does like it's been doing a lot in the last few days, it's going to stay there.
Yeah, and it also looks like, according to our new comfort zone, it should be in a spot where it feels comfortable on the track and has a improved, I think maybe its confidence goes up. The 1 horse is another one that might compete for the lead along with the 7, and it has a 71% chance to be in a position where it feels comfortable. And the bettors agree, because that horse is a 6-5 morning line favorite, post time favorite right about now. Got a couple horses left to get in. As far as value is concerned, 3-5, that's a little bit overpriced on the 1 right now. It looks to me like the 9 horse is the better value at 2-1, where our odds say it should be closer to 3-2. So from a just straight win bet standpoint, maybe the 9 horse would be the one to go, but his race is already over, Terry. He broke horribly. He stumbled and then kind of veered out to the right. But fortunately for those that are backing the 9 horse, the jockey did not, despite that early speed, rush him up, which I have to say, I see too many jockeys when the horse breaks poorly, just rush their horse up. The opening quarter is maybe 22, 23, so the number looks good, but that horse had to run a 20 or a 21 to get there. So the opening quarter in this case is 24-2. You got a tight bunch of horses out there. The 1 horse is on the lead double dealer with the 3 horse, Lucky Mucho Man, coming in at second place. On the outside is that 4 horse, Battle of Yorktown. And then behind that, you got probably about a gap of a horse, maybe a little bit of half of a horse to the 8 horse, which is Alonzo Mosley. Everybody's starting to close up a little bit. The 2 horse is now coming up the rail, Spites Circumante. I'm glad we didn't have to pronounce that one there, Terry. The 9 horse did stay well contained. Opening quarter, however, in 50.1. That's going to be kind of difficult, I feel, but this 2 horse is really making up ground on the 1 horse. It's going to be in contention here, Terry, one that we don't have in our picks. Where's that the 3 horse? No, that's the 2 horse, but he's starting to fade off a little bit. This looks like the 1 horse is going to go from front to wire, maybe, although the 2 horse did move outside to try to re-rally a little bit. But it does look like the 1 horse did kind of pull away from a little bit, although the 2 is kind of making up a little bit of ground, but he's struggling right now. It's definitely going to be the 1 horse. 1, 1, 2, 3, Terry, is going to how they're going to finish the opening leg. So we both have the double starting with the 1 in what we both probably consider to be a pretty open race. Unfortunately, the 1 went off at 4-5, even though it was 6-5 when the gates just about opened. So that's how they break down in race number 1, folks.
Yeah, I think that 9 stumbling and have that bad start really helped that 1 out. So,
all right, yeah, Cam. Usually we do start a little bit earlier. We apologize for that, so we can do the pick 6. Today was just kind of a difficult day to get cracking a little bit earlier because yesterday, as I mentioned at the top of the show, my son is out. My son's girlfriend is out of town, so I actually get to spend a little bit of time with him. He's a very, very sharp math kid. I mean, almost borderline stupid brilliant when it comes to math. Must have got it from his mother. But in terms of, so I get some time with him. He's really good at Excel too. Something he gets from Pops, I hope. We're able to craft together finally the comfort zone, which I do think you see that 1 horse, Terry, got in its comfort zone and made easy work of that field. Was a little bit of a simulated odds in terms of its value based upon morning line. So far, so good on what we've seen there. All right, back to race number 3, Terry, which we mentioned was 6 furlongs. Tactical speed is the way to go. You do have a 33% chance to go wire to wire. If indeed you're going to go wire to wire, Terry, it looks like to me you want to be the 7 horse Refund Wriggler.
That 7 looks like it has the most speed, with the 3 coming in along with it. So, just doesn't know who's going to get there first.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the overlays, the simulated odds on the 2 horse supposed to be like almost 6-1, and it's listed at 15-1 on the morning line. And then on the 3 horse, supposed to be 3-1, or a little over 3-1, and it's listed at 20-1. And then your 5 horse is supposed to be just over 2-1. And it's listed at like 3-1. So, And as far as the comfort zone goes, that 6 looks like 6. Well, there's 4 horses here. The 6, 7, 9, and 10 all look like if they get to the quarter pole the way they normally do, they should be in their comfort zone.
Yeah. So based upon the 1,000, it looks like those 4 horses have a good shot to be really happy where they are. This is a more balanced race. You kind of see the little upside down V or triangle here. Got 4 on the left side of the triangle. You got 6 on the right side of the triangle. All the speed horses are forwardly placed. They're E's, EPs, and pilots or co-pilots. The 3 also, because it is EP, can't get up on the lead if they go too slow. So, those 4 horses got to be careful they don't burn each other out. If they do, you got to cut all the closers back here. The 8 and the 1 have a distinct late pace advantage over the rest of the field. That's why those 2 only get any marks, Terry. I think in this race shape, any horse can get the race trip that it wants. It doesn't favor anything, but you think it favors the speed up front with that 7.
Yeah, the 7 Refund Wriggler. He won his last race at Parx Racing and has a good 4 furlong workout on March 13th. Then I like the 5 horse Go for the Kill. Has finished in the money in the last 3 starts, finished 3rd in his last race, and has a high percentage winning trainer. Then I like the number 9 horse Hope for Gold. He has a high percentage winning trainer and the highest last race speed rating. He's actually tied with another. And then Dang Nabbit 10. My long shot has improved his speed rating in the last 3 races, and he won one of those starts. I'd like to play another rich trifecta. I'm going to play a 50 cent with the 5-7, with the 5-7-9, with the 5-6-7-9-10.
You know what I love about these trifectas, Terry? My reasoning is 2 horses can't finish first, so I put them in second and the second spot in here. But you get a lot of nice coverage on the back end, and if by chance you get the right order for $6, I've had a couple of these things pay out, in the hundreds of dollars already, and only for $6. Especially if you get and sometimes I move them around a little bit. Like on Saturday when we did Oaklawn, I probably regretted doing that because in a lot of races I put the pig through a python in the middle with the 5 horses. And if I had just done my normal style, I would have won a lot more trifectas that day. But you get a lot of coverage and you only pay $6 to do it. And sometimes you get a nice payout in that. I like in race number 3, I like the 5 horse, Go for the Kill. Did tie for the top last race speed figure and showed faster fractions at 6.5 furlongs compared to 5.5 furlongs. Big fan of horses that ran faster last out. Hope for Gold, one that Tom and I both like, as well as Terry in here, Tom Demo, the co-host with me on Fridays for Foreign Fridays, as dubbed by Terry. We're going to do a really big weekend of racing this Friday with the Dubai World Cup. That's going to have a lot of American attention. You're going to want to tune in for that because Tom and I are going to be locked and loaded for a lot of big races out there. But the 9, Hope for Gold, looks a lot like, so the top 3 horses, actually, the 5, 9, and 1, they all kind of look like each other because they're all tied for the top last race speed figure, and they all ran better fractions last time out. The 1 horse being the one a little bit different because it was better across the board in terms of its mid-pace, early pace, late pace numbers, and really showed a lot more endurance at the end of its last race. The 1 horse in here that I have that doesn't fit that profile is Lazaretto, the 6 horse. But it was better from its internals from the beginning to end of its last race. It did show a little bit of regression the last time you saw a bump up where all of the numbers were better from the beginning to the end in the next start, but still finished in the money. I'm going to do a rich trifecta, 159 with the 5-9, the 1, 5, 6, 7, and 9. The 1 horse is the one in there Terry hopes doesn't do very well at all. In race 4 is where we're going to go next. And that one, my friend, is 6.5 furlongs, claiming 7,500 non-winners of 3 a lifetime. The purse is 22 grand. 6.5 furlong profile of a winner favors horses with early speed. In fact, 39%. That's a big number, kind of like what I see when I step on the scale, but it's getting smaller by the day, thankfully. A small discount if you ride the rail. 4 through 7, you get a little bit of a bonus. And if you got an 8 or an out, you get the biggest bonus of all in here, Terry. And in race number 4, our simulator, we got a scratch in here, the 6 horse. So I don't think it really played in either one of our picks. But we do have a pretty fast one out there with that 10 horse.
Yeah, the 10 horse shows the most speed, but the only other horse that really shows any speed is that 8 horse, Taco Bean. And, most of these horses look like if they're where they want to be at the quarter pole, they're going to be in their comfort zones. Mm-hmm. As far as the overlays, the 4 horse is simulated odds is like 7-1. So it's listed at 10-1 on the morning line. And that 9 horse, he's supposed to be just a little over 4-1. Yeah, 9-2.
Yeah, 9-2.
And he's listed at 8-1 on the morning line. So
yeah, and like you said, just about everybody, maybe except for the 3, Dad's a Chef. Oh, here you go. That one is about the only one that doesn't look like it's going to be in its comfort zone. And yet there I have him in my pick. How about that, huh? Pretty silly of me. Might be one of those horses, though, that would be more forwardly placed, perhaps, than its typical winning race, which might be why I have that in there. Our pace shape for this one looks like it's pretty fair in here in terms of where everybody's going to be. There are not any of those versatile horses in here, Terry, that we talk about with the PCs, and my mouse does not want to work on this screen today. I don't know what in the heck is going on. All right, there we go. It's working. The 6 is out. Got a 4 back here that could be a part of the early speed, but he's never really finished all that close. So he gets an NC, although he does have the 4th best early pace, late pace combination, could be involved at the end at a good price too. You see here, a lot of these horses can press for the lead, be on the lead. These 2 right here are going to be your most versatile, the 3 and the 7. They can go forward if these 2 go too slow. If they go too fast, they can hang out. I do think you're going to find your winner in that yellow box there with maybe the 9 horse, which has a big late pace advantage over the rest of the field. Those are where I think you're going to find your winners, Terry. You're going to tell us where the winners will be.
Well, it looks like to me that the 5 horse Vero Sun is going to win this race. He can either lead or come from off the pace to win a race, which is, again, one of my favorite deals. And he has the highest speed figure at today's distance. And then True to Coden is number 1, is my second pick. He finished in the money in 2 of his last 4 starts, and he won one of those. He's increased his speed rating in the last 3 races. What it indicates to me is a horse that's each time it has a race is getting better condition to better condition, just like a human athlete. And then number 2, Mr. Biggs, my third pick, ran second versus similar in his last race, has his best dirt speed, his fastest among today's starters. Taco Bean is my long shot, number 8. He won his last race at Parx Racing. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to play the 1, 2, 5, 8, 10 with the 4, 6, 7, with the 5, 7, with the 2 as a single.
Big single on that too. It'll be a heavy favorite too. But I have a little bit of concerns about that horse on the back end. We'll talk about that when we get to race number 7. For me, in the 4th, I'm going to start off with Cristiano's Dream. That would have been to win the World Cup. Unfortunately for him, Messi got it first, but Cristiano will get his revenge, win this race after putting the top last race speed figure with better race internals across the board, and likely third off the break to be a big benefit. My only concern is it's tried this distance 3 times and hasn't hit the board yet. Today, it's going to get the pace to its liking. Number 8, Taco Bean, trainer Elliot Soto Martinez is claiming this horse. Better fractions, much better 2 and 4 furlong numbers last time out. So I think this one will show continued improvement here. Number 2, Mr. Briggs. Not a big fan of winning the maiden last time out, or winning. I'm not a big fan of his last race, excuse me. But I do like the fact that the horse has performed well at the distance 3 times out, no wins, a second and a third. And then finally, Dad's a Chef. It was a tough call over the 1 for me. But I think this one should be closer to the front than the 1 horse. I think that's exactly what the well, it doesn't necessarily show that in this part, but it is an EP type and does have the second best late pace numbers in the field. I do think it's wide open, just like you, Terry. That's why I have 5 horses in my pick 4 as well. 1, 2, 3, 8, and 10. So inside, outside. And then 4 and 6 in race number 5, 4 and 5 in race number 6. Unlike you, I do think the 2 will be the heavy favorite, Terry, but I'm going to throw a first-time starter in there that might go off as a price. The 7 also in race number 7 to close out the pick 4 for me. Race number 5, I think we have a little bit of time. Maybe we can get through another race or 2 before race number 2 starts. Race number 5, my friend, is 1 mile and 70 yards. I think it's the only time we're going to see this race today. Claiming $7,500. Non-winners have won it a year. The purse is 21 grand. So clearly the things that they're doing with the casinos to get these purses up compared to the racing price is pretty good in Pennsylvania. At 1 mile and 70 yards, tactical speed is the way to the winner's circle. 32% of the horses go wire to wire. And there is a very strong inside bias, Terry, at 1 mile and 70 yards. So you want to keep that in mind when you're doing your handicapping. As far as our way to the pace is concerned, you got a lot of inside speed too.
That's right. There's most of these horses have shown some speed, although the 3 and the 4 have shown the most speed. So we'll have to see what happens there. And then the 3 is a nice overlay. It's supposed to be 3-1 on the morning line. It's simulated odds, and the 6-1 listed on the morning line. And then the number 9 horse is a pretty nice one. He's supposed to be like, 8-5 or something like that, or 3, whatever. And he's listed at 3-1 on the morning line. And, the 12 looks like it's the one with the best chance of the comfort zone, but there's several of them, if they're where they want to be at the quarter pole, would be in their comfort zone. So
yeah, their confidence could build. Our friend Tom says he likes the 9 absentee. Went off form its last race, coming off a layoff, and drops in claiming price. So a couple of reasons to like absentee for our good friend Tom. As far as the race and how it might shape up, Terry, in terms of your early speed, again, most of your horses here today want to be middle or back. The 11 horse is not in this spot at all. We do have a no contest horse, or never close horse, with the 5 horse. If it beats us, it beats us. That's horse racing. Every now and then somebody jumps out of the woods, out of left field, and makes you pay the price. This horse here is interesting to me. I hope I have it in my picks. If not, there must be a good reason for it. But you don't have a whole lot of early speed in here in relative to the number of horses in the field. But this 6 horse sits right between the early speed, and the closers. The same goes for the 3. So I think the 6 and the 3, no matter what they look like on paper, Terry, will have a good shot in this race. What do you think?
I'll tell you what, I like
And I
that
have them
6
both in there.
horse.
Whew.
Yeah. Well, I like that 6 horse as a presser. He's artistic reason, and he has finished in the money in 4 of his 5 starts at Parx racing. So he likes the track. He was second in his last 2 races, and the shorter distance, I think, will help. Then my second pick's number 4. He's finished in the money in 7 starts out of the last 8 starts and won 2 of those. Number 7 is my third pick, Excursion. Finished third in versus similar in his last race and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And that number 3 horse that you referred to is my long shot. He likes the distance and has a high percentage winning trainer. And I'm going to play a 50-cent trifecta box with the 4, 6, 7.
Okay, and I'm going to start off with the same 2 horses, just in a little bit different order than you, Terry. Then we differ a little bit on the back end there. I like in race number 5, Angelus Warrior as my top pick in here. Is am I on the right one here? No, that should be, we're in race number 5. Why do I have, oh, it's the 4 horse. Never mind. Angelus Warrior. I don't know what I'm looking at. This is a Jamie Ness, Ruben Silvera combination. You got to like that. It is a first time off the claim for Jamie Ness. Almost always his horses improve off the claim. And the 2 work since Mr. Ness bought this guy, or at least started training him, have been all right. Number 6, Artistic Reason. A big fan of Parx, but particularly at finishing second. 5 times out, 1 win, so it does have a W to its credit. 3 seconds, maybe likes to hang a little bit late, and a third in those 5 races. What stands out to me is the last time out, its late pace numbers just exploded relative to the rest. So big late race improvement. Speidster's Red, that 3 horse, is my second choice. And here is the third choice, Lone PC horse, if I remember correctly. It is the right distance for this guy. Been at the distance 11 times. Another that maybe likes to hang a little bit at the end. 2 wins, 5 seconds in 11 tries. Did regress slightly in its last race, which concerned me a touch, Terry. So I looked back through its resume of past performances and found that when the horse has regressed, 50-50 that the horse bounces back. And usually if it bounces back big. Number 9, Tom's horse, and mine as well, is my 4th choice in here. Absentee is taking a big class drop, as Tom pointed out in his comments there. It is kind of suspicious to me, though, Terry, because the drop is, let's see if we can pull this guy up here in race number 9. Race number 5, this 9 horse that Tom talks about, that I'm talking about dropping. Absentee, last time out, ran for optional, claiming 16,000. If you look through the last 10, which is all Brisnet gives us, it has not run at this level before, right? Not at all. So it kind of blew up in that last start back there, way back in January. So it had some time in the barn. But what's it done since it's been in the barn? And this is another concern of mine in terms of what the horse has done. If you look at these last 2 works, it says it hasn't really run since that January 13th. These last 2 works, 4 furlongs, 51 and 3, 43rd best out of 49. Yeah. And then the last one, a 3 furlonger, which tells me they want to get this horse off to a faster start, was 6th of 6. So although it might be the morning line, perhaps the betting line favorite, I have a lot of concerns about that horse. But you have to consider its class drop to maybe make up the difference there. So that was my thinking there on that horse, Tom, and why I didn't make it higher up on my list. Because when I did some of my early quantitative rankings, it actually did rank pretty high. So we're going to move on to race number 6 right now. My good friend. Oh, we didn't talk about our bets yet, did we, Terry? You did. I did it. Or did you? You think you did? You're kind of muted still, but all right. So I got the 50-cent try, 4, 6, 3, 4, 6 with the 2, 3, 4, 6, and 9. Terry's going to 50-cent box the 4, 6, and 7. Those are the 3 horses he think are going to get the job done. Race number 6, which is the one we're asked to do next. In race number 6, we're going to go 7 furlongs, maiden claiming $25,000. The purse of 26 grand. At 7 furlongs, the type of horse that typically wins does have a little bit of early speed. Usually the faster the better, because 42% go wire to wire. There is a very strong inside 3. Post 4 through 7 perform a little bit under par. If you get 8 and out, kind of goes back to fair. speed, you have a great chance to go wire to wire in race number 6, Terry. So that looks like the 4 or the 5 or the 7 will be the ones that get the best chance to get that done.
Yeah, that's right. It looks like to me like they do, especially the 5 and the 4. Well, and that 7 too. Yeah, they all show good speed. That 6 shows the best comfort zone percentage if it's where it's what want to be, and then the 5 looks like a really good overlay. It's supposed to be like, I don't know, 2 to 5, 3 to 5, something like that, and he's listed at 2 to 1 on the morning line.
Yeah, that one looks like it should be a horse that it should be in its comfort zone, should be close to the front, should be involved from the beginning. In race number 6, we do see that the 4 horse is likely to be your pace setter. It's dropping in class with a +6 furlong advantage at the 4 furlong marker. So that one's probably going to be your pace setter, Terry. Everybody else wants to kind of be middle or back. You got the 2 horse that in its efforts so far really hasn't shown much. The 3 first-time starter didn't really see a whole lot in the workouts for that one. You do have one closer in here, the 1 horse that does have some ability to get the job done at the end. Ooh, Terry. Usually when I see this setup, I'm really a big fan of the class dropper that is fast to begin with versus the rest of the group that either going up in class or dropping in class. How do you see it?
Okay, in this race here, I like this 5, Big Ambition. And she finished, third versus similar in her last race, has the highest last speed rating. She has a high percentage winning trainer. And then number 7 is my second pick, looking in at Lightning. And she switches to a high percentage winning trainer who wins 33% of the time when using Lasix for the first time, and switches to a high percentage winning jockey. Number 4 is my third pick, has the best dirt speed in today's race, and a high percentage winning trainer wins 18% of the races when he has a horse in a maiden claim race. And the jockey in the last 7 days has been in the money 7 out of 11 times. He's won 4 of those. And then I'm going to bet a $10 win ticket on the number 5 horse.
In the race, again, our friend Tom says, update Charlotte, English Richard, has some okay works, good trainer, interesting placement for Pennsylvania bred horses, first time starter for the mare. I don't know, Tom. I just didn't see anything in the workouts there that at least one workout in there, the indication of some talent. Race 5, pick the 3-5 with the 2-7 with the 3-8 for a pick 3 starting in race 5 for Raphael Sachel. If, like Raphael or Melvin or Tom, you have some thoughts on horses or Barry that you like in any of these races, please share them with us, or of any other track that's running today for that matter. It's a community. We all want more winners, no matter the source, right, Terry? Absolutely, the big head shake there for Terry. I like in race number 6, Big Ambition too, Terry. Did run a big race last time out with the top last race speed figure and has a bullet workout since then. There's no question that this horse is in form and should be ready. Big overlay according to the simulator. Number 4, Blanchiment might be the one that can beat it. This one is a Naira track dropper, so coming in from Aqueduct and also making the biggest and the only class drop, really big class drop in the field. The lone Parx workout was a little bit of the concern for me. It was average. But it does have that early race advantage where a bunch of horses go wire to wire. 7 horse looking at Lightning showed some early pop in its last race, which was the second career start. Cutting back in distance should help. That's something that our good friend Charles likes to see. A horse that goes a little bit longer in the previous start, shows some speed, then fades, then shortens up. And I think getting first Lasix will help it maintain its speed longer. And then True Phenomenon. Held its pace much longer held its early speed much deeper into the race last time out, and does have a maintenance workout since then that should keep the horse fit. Does fit right in its comfort zone according to that. So I'm going to do a 50-cent try 4-5, 4-5-7 with the 1, 4, 5, 6, and 7 for race number 6, my good friend Terry. Let's see how far off are we on race number 2. We have 1 minute to post to race number 2. So let's rewind back to race number 2, Terry, real quick. It is, I think, the beginning of a pick 4 as well. We're both going a 50-cent trifecta here with great agreement on the first 3 horses in there. Raphael says, sorry, his pick 3 is starting in race number 6, not race number 5. So please make note of that. We do like the same 3 horses here, Terry. It does look like the one horse is the one that's going to get on the lead. The 1, the 2, and the 9 should get trips that they're very comfortable with, along with the 6 horse, Terry, according to our newly introduced comfort zone. As we take a look at the odds at the moment, the one that you and I both have picked first, Boss Cara, is indeed the one that the bettors agree with, or they're all watching the show, Terry, one or the other. It is 2-1, down from 6-1 morning line, but a little bit underpriced relative to the simulated odds that say fair value for that guy is around 7-2. It's a co-favorite with the 6 horse Touring Marianne, which is also 2-1, but not taking as much money yet as the 2 horse has, both of which have a good shot to be where they want to be. The 8 horse is 7-2. So we're right in line, Terry, with what the odds are saying. And then the 1 horse is your 4th favorite at 5-1. You have the 11 horse on the outside, Quasar Tom's pick, which is the only other horse that is under 10-1. Everybody else is double digits, Terry. So when the gate opens, it looks to me like the 1 horse, according to our simulator, should have a 68% chance to be your pace setter. And then it will be challenged by the 10 horse Frosted Wild Ride. After that, it's anybody's guess who's going to be 3rd or 4th. Now the 6 horse has moved into the favorite as some of that money has come off the 2 horse the last minute. Now 3-1 with the 6 horse being the 5-2 favorite, and the 8 now tied with the 2 horse at 3-1. So we both like the 2, the 6, and the 8. The bettors agree with us, Terry, but none of them are what you would call a big time favorite. All lukewarm at around 5-2, 3-1, somewhere in that neighborhood. And they're all lined up. It looks like they're about ready to get going with the second race, and indeed they have. And they come out in a pretty straight line, man. A whole bunch of them are kind of right in there. They all got a good break. As expected, the 1 horse is indeed on the lead. Again, 67%, 68% chance it would be your pace setter, with the 10 horse right behind it. Again, as projected, you got a little bit of a gap to the next group of horses, which includes the 2, it looks like to me, and the 3, which also showed, I mean, according to our early sim, Terry, for the lead, it's playing out exactly as we thought it would. Although this 1 horse Jet Force has got a pretty good lead at 22-2 over everybody else. Got a feeling I'm going to wish I put a trifecta there with the 1 horse on the lead. Although the 2 horse on the rail is starting to make up a little bit of ground, so maybe that guy can go by. They all are closing in on that 1 horse. It looks to me like, is it the 2 horse that went wide? The 3 horse it looks like it might end up with the best trip in here and run right by everybody, which is exactly what's about to happen. Power of Love is now on the lead, although the 6 horse, the one we have second, is making. Now the 2 horses come back. So the question is who's going to finish 3rd, because they are all kind of rallying right here. It looks like it's going to go 6, 3, 2, and 8. Terry. We both did get our doubles, though, if I remember correctly, right? Yes, we did. We both had because the 1 horse won the first race. So 1 and 6. So you and I both collected our doubles, missed on the trifecta there. The bettors were right. Well, the 1 horse actually ended up being one of the favorites there in race number 2. So the double for 1-6 in that first 2 races, Terry, the pool says that the 1-6 double will pay $14.60. All right. That's good. We got 14.6% back of our $100 budget. What do you think about that?
I think that's really good. Yeah.
Unfortunately, guys, I don't understand Arabic. So in terms of your names, we are going to move on to the next races now. I think next up is race number 7, right? So you got a bunch of Arabic here, which I unfortunately don't know anything about. So they could be swearing at us, Terry, with a smile, which I would do if I spoke a language knowing that the hosts did not speak. All right, race 7, and then we'll get to race number 8. Race 7 is 5.5 furlongs. This one is a maiden $50,000 for registered Pennsylvania breds. $50,000 is the purse. At this short sprint, 5.5 furlongs, Terry, you would think get to the front, you're going to win, but tactical speed does best, although 35% of the horses do manage to go wire to wire. You have an inside 3 and 8 and out bias. 4 through 7, a big discount. So I don't know why that would be. Seems kind of odd to me. Got a couple of first-time starters in here, Terry. So we just use the averages for the first-time starters. But boy, Ninja Prize, that 2-horse, has 100% chance to be in its comfort zone. I can't say that I've ever seen that before because this is the first time we've run it.
That's right. And it looks like the 3 has the most speed in here, but these horses have only got a couple of 3 starts each. So it's really a toss-up who's going to be the quarter pole first. And then as far as the overlay goes, the 2 has a nice overlay. It's supposed to be a lot, really low. Like
it looks like it's supposed to be like it's going to win and nothing else is going to be anywhere nearby.
Yeah, and it's listed at a little bit under, a little bit over even money. So, with that 100% comfort zone, we'll have to see what happens. So.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Then, let's reflect back real quick on race number 6. The 6-horse, the one that won, 65% chance to be in its comfort zone, Terry. So, was the 3rd or 4th in that. So, so far, in the first 2 races, right? The horses that have won, the 1-horse, highly in its comfort zone. The 6-horse, highly in its comfort zone. So I would think so far the returns, although it's only 2 races, are pretty good for me. What do you think?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to play out as a good thing to have as far as information. So,
yeah, part of the mosaic, right? There's not one data point that's going to point you to the winner. You basically have to take a composite picture of everything that you see, and then from there, kind of pick which horse based upon pace, race setup, if it's going to be in its comfort zone, odds, value, all that sort of stuff. All right, so in terms of this race, the way it might set up, again, this is all of the stuff that we do in race number 7. Of the horses that have run, it's pretty fair. They're all going to probably be where they want to be on the track. The 1-horse was a first-time starter, not going to be in this race. The 4 and the 7 are the other first-time starters. I usually bucket up horses, Terry, experienced versus non-experienced. The 2-horse is going to be the heavy favorite. It is the most experienced, or one of the most experienced horses in the field. So is that the one you think is going to win?
Yeah, I do. And this is actually my best race of the day for betting. I like 2 Ninja Prince. Ran 2nd versus Simmer in his last race. His best start speed is fast among today's starters. He should improve at the shorter distance. And then number 6 up for Parole. He comes in from Penn National Tribe Parx Racing and switches to a good jockey. Number 5, my 3rd pick, Union Reward. He ran 2nd in his last race and can improve it at the shorter distance. Number 4, Ben's Image. He is a first-time starter whose dam has 1 winner from 2 starters and has some good workouts. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 5. I'm going to single the 2, then use the 2-8, the 8-10, the 6, and then the 4, 6, 7, 11. I'm going to bet 15 to win on the 2. I'm going to play $1 exacta box, the 2, 5, 6, and a $2 exacta. This will be the 2 on top with the 4, 5, 6. This, of course, is my best betting race of the day.
This is the one Terry really, really likes. Yeah, I'm going to try to beat that 2-horse, Terry, because I think that's what horse players have to try to do, because that horse ain't going off at 8-5. It's just not going to happen, or 9-5. It's going to be 3-5, somewhere in that range, I suspect. Could be wrong about that. I would be a little bit concerned if it didn't get bet down. The 7-horse Gambler's Run, it is a first-time starter and has a very steady workout pattern. So it just shows that it stayed on schedule. 10 days, 10 days, 10 days, 10 days. You can kind of look at that when you're looking. So let's pull that up on the screen too, Terry, so that we can talk about that. So in race here, you see the 7-horse in its workout patterns, January 8th, January 18th, January 30th, February 6th. So you see that the horse is maintaining a pretty standard workout schedule. And then based upon that schedule, it looks like today should be about the time to start, though probably on the outside edge of that steadiness. I do like this specific workout back here, 4 furlongs in 49-3, 5th fastest of 26th. So this horse does show it has some spark in it. So maybe it's enough spark to beat that 2-horse. If not, Ninja's Prize going to be the really heavy favorite. Last race was the same or maybe better as race 2, but did have some race regression across the board. Number 4, Ben's Image, is another first-time starter. The January 19th workout looks really nice to me, but the next workout was March the 8th. So there's a big gap in there. So if we take a look at that, this is what the concern for me is on here. So you see this horse was kind of working out on a pretty regular schedule, a little bit of breaks here and there. So when you see these, like, I'm going to say, what do you call it? Like unusual workout schedules or big gaps in there. That tells me that after this January 19th fast workout, that horse was a little bit sore, probably couldn't get back out to the track. They had to give it some rest. Then it came back to work out on March the 8th. It does have some talent based upon that January 19th workout. I'm just a little bit concerned that maybe the horse is a little bit sore like it did off that last time it had a good workout. And then the 3-horse Lucky Leighton could be on the lead. If you're on the lead, you got a shot, Terry. In fact, according to our simulator, it's going to be your pace setter in there for certain. I'm going to do a 50-cent trifecta. Again, try to beat the 2 with the 7, but it's unlikely. Then the 2, 4, and 7 in the second spot, and then the 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7 in the third spot. And that's how, how do you break down those first-time starters, Terry? That's how I like to look at them, the schedule and then the times, and see if maybe there's a flash of brilliance somewhere.
Yeah, I like to look at the breeding and then look at the workouts, see how they're doing. Also look at how the trainer does with first-time starters.
See, I'm not the biggest, to me, I know a lot of people like the breeding angle. I do consider it for sure, but I'm not the biggest fan of it because of the human element. And I know that sounds kind of funny, but if you look, for example, at Michael Jordan, his father wasn't the best basketball player. If he even could play basketball, he was like 5'9", maybe at best. And then Michael Jordan's kids, very athletic, I'm sure, played, decent colleges and so forth for college basketball. Or Walter Payton, for example, a lot of Chicago, but 2 of the all-time greatest. If the greatest athletes in the world, their kids, I think there's probably not much difference in the mammal community. So I do put some emphasis in it, but not a whole lot of emphasis. That's my thinking. It's probably ass backwards, but what can you do?
Just like, but in baseball, if you look at how a lot of the people in baseball, a lot of times the uncle's nephew does really well, or the son does well in baseball. They seem to really follow in their footsteps.
But baseball, I don't think is as athletic a sport as basketball or maybe hockey or football, where there's a lot more or soccer, where there's just continuous lateral motions, running, sprinting. You have physical contact with other human beings, which makes it a little bit, I think you have to have more athleticism to do all of those things. Certainly in baseball, you need to have incredible hand-to-eye coordination to hit a 95-mile or 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Got like a third of a second to make up, not even 0.3 of a second to make up your mind to swing or not, and then to pick the right zone. And I would probably be laying on the ground with someone throwing a ball 100 miles an hour at me. All right, so in race number 8, it is 5.5 furlongs. We did talk about tactical speed being the way, although 35% go wire to wire. Inside 3, 8 and out, where you want to be, Terry. In race number 8, our simulator says that all the speed is outside.
Yep, that's right. It looks like to me that all that speed is like either in the 5, the 7, or the 8. Mm-hmm. As far as the comfort zone, they all have, if they're where they want to be at the quarter pole, they all have pretty good numbers on the comfort zone. And then the overlays, the one's a small overlay, is supposed to be like 9-2, and it's listed at 6-1 in the morning line. And then the 2-horse is supposed to be just below 3-1. It's listed at 3.5-1 on the morning line. And then your 3 is the nicest overlay. It's supposed to be simulated odds like 5-2, and it's listed at 6-1 on the morning line.
But it also looks like it's supposed to get the most uncomfortable trip. But it could be another one of those horses that's going to be more forwardly placed than it has in its best efforts, which could be a benefit for that 3-horse. In the 8th race, the way this one sets up is you do have a ton of speed in here, Terry, which could do well for that 3-horse because it is the lone PC horse. But all these horses up here are going to get out to the front and try to get it going. The 5 and the 6 and the 8 boxed off, they look like the fastest crew. In this sort of setup, I want the speed of the speed, or I want one of these that has a little bit of late pace. I think that gives those horses the best race structure to actually find the winner's circle. Who do you see, Terry, cash in the biggest check today?
Well, I see number 8, Golden
Golden EIB microphone. That's a
Yeah.
hat tip to the now deceased Rush Limbaugh.
All right. Anyway, he won his last race at Parx Racing, has the highest last race speed rating, and has a high percentage winning jockey. Number 2, Cuz I Said, is my second pick. He's a closer and has a win at Parx Racing and likes the distance of today's race. 3, Cajun Cousin, third pick, has won 4 out of 10 starts at Parx Racing, so he likes the track and drops in class today. Number 7 is my long shot, has an early foot and switches to high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to spend the rest of my budget on a pick 4. I'm going to use the 2-8 with the 8-10 with the 4-6 with the 4-6-7-11.
You know, Janet brings up a very interesting point. She says she's noticed that children of very famous people react very negatively towards being like their parents. Only a rare few attempt to follow in their footsteps. Sinatra and Liza Minnelli most feel a little bit intimidated or inadequate to compete. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, how do you compete with like Elvis Presley's kid or Michael Jackson's kid or Frank Sinatra's kid or any of that kind of stuff? But animals, do they even know what their ancestors did? I would say that the answer to that question is probably emphatic no. The only thing they know is if I do A, I get B. I win, I get peppermint, or like my dog. If I give you a kiss on the nose, you're going to give me a treat. And I can't tell you how many kisses I get from my yellow lab constantly. I have never, it reminds me of my grandfather. You know, there's some people in your life, Terry, that live to eat, right? They can't wait for dinner. They can't wait for lunch, and they just love to eat. And God bless them, right? We all have to have something that we love. Me, I eat because I have to, although I do have favorites. My dog, I swear to you, of all the living animals I've ever been around, I've never seen an animal in my life that likes to eat like my dog. Her food is in like the very corner cabinet, and she'll walk and stand next to her corner cabinet until you go in and open something up, and you can give her just like one little kernel of her food. Man, she's just there constantly. And anytime she does something she thinks like deserves praise, she goes to that corner and stands there. It's the funniest thing. All right. Anyway, in race number 8, Terry, you went through your picks. Did you go through your picks or no?
I did, yes.
All right, I get a little bit confused sometimes when I carry on. I like the 8 horse in here as well. Golden EIB microphone. Did run the top last race speed figure. The concern for me is to move up in class, although I do expect the horse to step it up in the second start off a bench. Big fan of the distance. 3 times out, a couple of wins. But that step up is interesting. Number 2, Cuz I Said. This one's the other side of that equation, Terry, taking a sizable drop in class. In the last race, although it probably doesn't look good based upon the finish, was better than it appears as it ran faster fractions at 6 furlongs than it did at 5.5 furlongs. Number 1, Bachi, has some back speed, which I like to see in a race where 35% of the horses can go wire to wire. And it's catching a 10-pound weight break today. I know from talking to a lot of trainers through the Horse Center show that if they feel like the horse is close, one of the things they'll do is drop some weight on that horse. 10 pounds less than it carried last time out is a big weight advantage. And it's not been bad at Parx. 5 races, 2 wins in a third and a second. And then Take Charge, Erica. Crashed in its last race, but bounced back in form following the last time she bombed. So again, I like if a horse has like a kind of a race that looks out of sorts compared to everything else you see in the past performances, I want to go back and see if it had something like that happen before. And if it did, what happened next? So I'm going to throw that Take Charge Erica race out. I'm going to put a trifecta together with the 1, the 2, and the 8, with the 2 and the 8, with the 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. And it looks like we have a little bit. Raphael, pick 4. All right, here. He likes the 8 horse. He's going to single up the Golden EIB Mike. He's going to single up the 11. Oh, this is the hot dog. This is a $2 pick 4 from Raphael. Man, that is that's not even bologna. That's like, what do you call that, Terry? A condiment. That's like a ketchup packet.
Well, actually, he likes the 3 and the 8 in the first leg.
Oh, all right. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're right about the 3 and the 8. It's still a ketchup package. But what is it again? Thumbs up. Thank you, Lubby. If you haven't given us a thumbs up on Facebook or on YouTube, please do so. We appreciate the prompt there right there. Each 5 pounds, Thomas says, equals about a half of a length. So with that 8 horse, with the which horse did I say was losing all that weight in there, Terry? That is the 1 horse. So that gives it a 1 length advantage. Might not be enough, but let's see if it is today, especially if it can find its back speed in there. Off to race number 9, as we do have a little bit of time before the next race. Race 9, Terry, I think this one is wide open, very wide open. It's also one that, well, maybe not so wide open as some of the other ones. So we can talk about the ones coming up that are wide open. This one's 6.5 furlongs, optional, claiming 25,000, purse of 28. If you're new to the past performances, at least with Brisnet, if there is a horse is for sale, you'll see $25,000 right here. Let's see if any of them are for sale or if it's going to make me look like a fool. Okay. So it's a horse doing a trick like a dog when asked on cue doesn't do it. So none of these horses are for sale today. So they're all in here to get a check and not to get the horse claimed, Terry. I don't know if I ever read a whole lot into that or not. Do you? You're on mute. You don't read into that a lot? If
No, I don't.
not? You're not echoing anymore either. So that's
okay. I'll just leave it unmuted for now then. So
at 6.5 furlongs, the type of horse that typically wins, has early speed, 40% almost, go wire to wire. So get to the front and you got a great chance. You got a small rail discount. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 through 7, you get a bit of a bonus. And then you get a bigger bonus, 8 and out. Well, 2 and 3 and 8 and out actually give you the biggest bonuses of all, Terry. Again, 35, almost 40% go wire to wire here, Terry. So that means either the 1 horse or the 11 horse going to get to the front and have a great shot to carry it all the way home.
Yeah, I think the 11's going to get there first, in my opinion. And the 11 has a really, really nice overlay. I mean, supposed to be real low on the simulated odds, but
it might not be comfortable on the front though, there, Terry, because you looked at comfort zones.
Yeah, I know the comfort zone is there, but geez, there's a lot of comfort zone horses in here, right? So
looks like
anyway, the overlay is 6-1 on the morning lines listed, so we'll have to see. Okay.
As far as the way this race is going to shape up, it's pretty fairly balanced out. You got 4 that want to be on the front, 2 that want to be in the middle. 4, and so it's perfectly balanced in here. The 11 horse in here, Terry, does have a standout number for me. It does have some early speed, so should be involved as we saw in the pace scenarios. Does also have the top late pace figure. If you combine the early part of the race and the later part of the race, is a 12-point advantage over everybody else. That's a pretty significant advantage. It's not always pointing to a winner, but it tends to be very difficult to overcome. Those horses almost always end up in the money. So how do you see it? You see it being in their third.
Yeah, I like the 10 All That Magic is my first pick. Won her last race at Penn National. Has a high percentage winning trainer and a really good workout. Number 8 is my second pick, Princess Lean. Closed from deep to win her last race and has a high percentage winning trainer. And then I like that 11 that you were just talking about, Dysfunctional. She comes in from Laurel Park after winning her last race easily to try Parx racing for the first time. Arrives with a trainer who wins 29% of the races when shipping a horse in to run. My long shots, number 9, Tudor Peak, comes in from Penn National also after winning her last race. And I have no more money left, so I can't make any bets.
Terry has empty pockets, rabbit ears. So we rewind a race to race number 8 real quick. Christopher D'Souza says he is a big fan of the 1 horse in there, Bocce. He likes that one in there. You know, it's I don't want to say odd. I don't know what the right word is, Terry, but I'll think of it as soon as we hang up. But it seems like anytime one of the folks watching along in the community puts a pick in, I go back and look at it later on, especially if we don't have it. I go back and keep track of all the picks that people have they give us, and almost always, man, they come in and win. So Good luck with that one, Christopher. I hope it does. I have it in my picks. So, all right, in race number 9, Thomas says the 1 horse will not be on the lead. A very strong declaration from my fellow traveler on Foreign Fridays. I like the 11 horse in here, Terry, that plus 11 early pace, late pace. It's actually 16, excuse me. That early pace, late pace edge could be very difficult to overcome, especially coming off the top last race speed figure. And it is track dropping from Laurel. And in fact, I think this is Anthony Ferrier and what's his name? Anthony Boca Chica. Those 2 guys, man, when they get together, I think they win like almost 40% of the races. I don't think from having Anthony Ferrier on the Horse Center show before that he would be moving this horse off the Parx if it did not have a chance to win. Number 8, Princess Lean is my second choice, just like you. Closed very nicely in its first race at Parx after dropping in from Monmouth and Gulfstream Park. So a track dropper for sure, with some nice late pace in a race that should favor horses that can come a little bit off the edge. Number 1, Perfect Direction. Tom says it won't be on the lead. All right. But it is taking a sizable class drop in here, and one that's likely to be better in the second start off a layoff, with 2 races at the distance with a win and a close second. And then finally, All That Magic, your top pick, Terry, is my 4th pick. Did have a nice win at Penn National. Decent workouts at Penn National since. But Terry, why is a Penn National horse my 4th pick and your 1st pick?
Because you think it's a class or track drop when they come from Penn National. They haven't done that well coming into Parx. So.
Yeah, I think it's a big step up in terms of it's a track riser. I'm not the biggest fan of it, and they have not done well. I've seen a lot of horses there that look good, run great races at Penn, and then just kind of flounder a little bit at Parx. Race number 10, Terry, because we do have a little bit of time for the next race, so we can get through race number 10. 6.5 furlongs. This is the biggest race of the day. Allowance 52,000, non-winners 1. Purse is 52 grand for registered Pennsylvania fillies and mares, 3 years old and up, that have never won one PA restricted race other than maiden claiming or starter. At 6.5 furlongs, we did talk about speed, 40% going wire to wire. The rail does have a small discount. 4 through 7 and 2 and 3 get a decent bonus. Bigger bonus at 8 and out. Terry, again, speed in a race that does have a trio of scratches. In fact, the horse that was most likely to get on the lead is on the sidelines. That means that 10 horse, Aruma, could be the pace setter.
Yeah, he's got a lot of speed, but the 5 also going to be competitive with that horse. And I think that, if you look at the comfort zones, they're almost all, if they get into their comfort zone at the quarter pole, they'll do fine. And then there's really no overlays that I see in here at all.
Yeah, that 2 horse was supposed to be the deal there, but not there. All right, we'll speed it up here a little bit. In race number 10, you see that the 2 and the 4 both had boxes, so they could have been part of the early speed. These are all versatile horses in here. The 5 and the 10, your EP types, likely to be the ones on the front. 7 in here, I think with not a whole lot of speed forward. Horses, especially at a distance where almost 40% go wire to wire. Speed is probably the way you want to go on this particular spot. Terry, how did you go?
Okay, I like number 6, Jezebel Jade. She won her last race at Parx Racing, has never finished out of the money at Parx Racing, and has a high percentage winning trainer. Number 4, Rolls Royce Joyce is my second pick, has finished in the money in 9 out of 10 starts. And at Parx, and she's won 2, including her last start. Then Mia Tosca is my third pick, has a high percentage winning trainer and should improve while returning to dirt. She's the number 1 horse. By long shots, the 8. She won her last race at Parx Racing, which is a high percentage winning trainer who wins 32% of the races in the first race after claiming a horse, and switches to high percentage winning jockey. So no bet for me as I'm out of money.
So the 6 horse Jezebel Jade won its last race by 11. Clearly a sharp effort there. Usually a big race is followed by another big race, but it was also followed by a bullet workout. If you can repeat the workout and repeat the last race, gets another W today. Rolls Royce Joyce, the 4 horse. This one had 2 consecutive speed figure increases. A little concerned, though, that last time out, the fractions were a bit slower. Number 8, Chelsea's Wall. Jamie Ness, Ruben Silvera, again, first off the claim, 33% winner for Mr. Ness. Again, tends to work some magic first time around with a new guy. Number 9, Broad Jumper, going to close in this race for sure. Should be better in the third start off a layoff and running at a distance that it's done okay yet. 2 times out with a win and a third. Trifecta 4-6-8 with the 4-6, with the 4-6, 4-5-6, 8, and 9. Let's kind of go back to race number 3 again, Terry, because they're about to run race number 3 in here, Terry. So let's see indeed what's going to happen. Albert says, which number is strong in which race there, Mr. Zub, are you talking about? Number 3, race number 3. In race number 3, Terry likes the 7 here, Refund Wriggler. According to the simulator, it has a good shot to be the one that's on the lead. 50% chance that it should get a race shape that really feels comfortable. This race, as the odds board shows, is wide open. You have 1, 2, 3 horses that are all sort of co-favorites. The 1, the 5, and the 9 at 3-1. Terry and I both see this as a wide open race with the trifectas and not, any sort of race to race type stuff in here. They're all in. Let's see how they break, Terry. If indeed the 7 horse is the one that sets the pace, or will Calculated Breeze, the 3 horse, which also has a good shot to be on the lead, the one that will be pulling the cart when they hit the quarter-mile marker. According to Comfort Zone, all of the horses, the 6 and the 7, the 9 and the 10 should get trips that they're very comfortable with, along with the 5 horse. The 5 horse is an overlay, according to our simulator, at approximately 2-1 odds. Right now, he's 3-1. So you are getting value with the 3 horse, with the 5 horse, if you take the 5 horse. And they're off. So indeed, it looks like the 5 horse has decided it wants to be on the front today. So it really didn't have a chance to get to the lead, according to the simulator. But, just what the computer says and what the trainer says aren't always the two things that go in together. Although now that he has relinquished the lead, it looks to me like the 7 horse. No, it's not the 7 horse, the 6 horse. Lazaretto, which had a chance to get the lead, is on the lead and has it's well within its comfort zone, Terry. It's the top comfort zone horse in the field at 10-1, Mr. Terry.
Ooh.
On the lead. Yeah, I have him 3rd, so I need 2 horses to go by him. I don't know that that's going to happen right about now. Yeah, that 6 horse, Terry, looks like right about now it's going to be very difficult to beat. You do have that 9 horse making a pretty strong move on the outside, although the opening fraction 23, and those fractions aren't all that fast. We have seen speed hold up very well at Parx, so the question is anybody going to get by it? I think the 9 horse has a small chance, but not. This race is the 6 all day long, Terry. It's going to go 6. It looks to me like it's going to go 6, 9, and I can't see, was that the 5 on the rail? I can't tell. Or maybe the 10, the Dagnabbit. I think that's how it's going to go. So the 6 horse, again, a wide open race, Terry. This I should have went ahead and bloated them up a little bit. Yeah, 6, 9, and 10. But it is interesting to note for the 3rd race in a row, Terry, this is race number 1, the comfort zone horse, the highest comfort zone horse won. In race number 2, who won race number 2? The 6 horse, right?
Yeah.
He was tied for the 2nd best or 3rd or 4th best, but still well within its comfort zone, won. And in this race, the horse that was the deepest in its comfort zone won at 10-1. So the early returns on the comfort zone, Terry, I'm liking. How about you?
Me too. Yeah, it looked good. Something I'm going to really pay attention to in the future.
And it's something that you can only get right here, folks. You can't get
That's
it
right.
anywhere else. And again, we're going to be rolling out more of this data. It just takes time to get it to where we get it working right in Excel so that it's not giving me like false returns. Great racing, better than Parx lately. Great race calling, better than Parx lately. Yeah, well, Jessica's a good friend of the show, and hopefully she continues to get better. She's wonderful, and she does a lot of great things for the folks off the track as well. So definitely one that should be given as many chances as it takes to get it right, because she is a great ambassador for the sport. No question. Maybe not the right role, but, like anybody in any profession, we all get better over time. The last race of the day, Terry, is 1 mile maiden claiming. This one is, I think, maybe a dumpster fire because there are a lot of bad horses in here. So they just took all the bad horses in the barn, threw them in one race and said, okay, somebody go out and get a win. So you can break your maiden. We haven't seen 1 mile, but we are seeing an echo again, Terry, unfortunately. At 1 mile, we do have early speed bias. 56% of the horses have gone wire to wire. There's a very strong rail and inside out bias. So Charlie's Choo Choo might not be the best looking horse on paper, but man, with that rail bias, you want to consider it. In race number 11, again, a bunch of horses go wire to wire, over 50%, 56%. It sure looks like that 10 horse, Queenspin, going to be on the lead and going to have the most comfortable trip out of everybody.
Yeah, that's true. It looks like that might be a good play. Anyway, the 7 and the 9 also have some speed, so we're going to give that horse some competition. 7 has a nice overlay. If you look at that, it's supposed to be like a little less than even money. It's a 2-1 or 2.5-1 on the morning line. And as you said, the 10 has a real good comfort zone. 2 also has a pretty nice comfort zone. So.
Well, relative to everybody else, right? But I mean, overall, I wouldn't want a 13% chance of being where I want to be, but considering everybody else. And everybody else is bad in this race, Terry. I mean, let's just be let's just call it what it is. In race number 11, look at all these NC horses in here. Boom, boom, boom. It is a maiden claiming $10,000 race. Down arrows for the 10, down arrows for the 11 and the 9. These are the only ones that are dropping in class. Everybody else has kind of tried their luck at this low level before and haven't had a chance. Most of your horses want to be middle or back or not close ever. That should really give the 10 horse a chance to run a trip that's very comfortable for the 10 up on the front, hopefully comfortable fractions, Terry. I know you don't have them first. I do. Maybe you'll reconsider afterwards, but you like the 6 horse to get it done here.
Yeah, Leaping for Candy finished third in her last race and has the highest last speed rating. Number 11, Wild and Sassy. She comes in from Laurel Park after being bumped at the start and finishing a disappointing 7th, but finished second the race before and has a good workout on March 9th. Number 7, Charles Wild Angel, finished third versus similar in her last race and has a high percentage winning jockey. And that 10 is my long shot, Queen Pin. She has a high percentage winning trainer, and she wins 20. The trainer wins 21% of the time when taking a horse down 2+ classes. Has a high percentage winning jockey. I felt like this was the most wide open in the race in the day for a race, and actually until one of my singles got scratched, so I had to go with 2 horses. I had 6 or 7 horses in my pick 4 and pick 5 for this race, but I had to change it when that scratch came through.
Yeah, this is an any horse can win race, Terry. And I go back and review after the fact every day what happened, what I missed, what I got right, all that kind of stuff. And I suggested every horse player do that. It'll help you improve your game. And I have found over and over and over and over again, you might go back and look at these maiden claiming races, and you look at some horses on paper, they just don't look very good. And then you go back and see that they're one of 2 or 3 horses in a deep field that are actually dropping in class. With that in mind today, I just put the 3 class droppers on top, the 10, the 11, and the 9 as my top 3 picks. I'm going to put them together in a $1 exacta box, the 9, 10, and 11. The Queen Spin, as we saw on the Queen Pin, as we saw in the simulator, in the race shape setup, is a dropper coming in from Naira as well. So it's not only a class dropper, it's a track dropper. Does have some early speed, so should be on the front, and the Parx workout was good enough. The 11, Wild and Sassy, another class dropper, another track dropper coming in from Laurel. Not as big as it might look like on that track drop because it did run in maiden claiming 12.5 before versus I think like maiden claiming 40 last time out. Number 9, Don's Last Call, is the last of the track droppers for me. Horrible start in its debut. So you just don't know what this horse can do at all. Getting first time Lasix, maybe the horse can pop towards the front. Does have a 17% chance to be there. Maybe that Lasix can keep it there. And then Charlie's Wild Angel. The distance gives you a lot of hope for this horse. It's run it 5 times. The simulator says it should be more like a 1-2 than 5-2. It won't go down that low. If it does, then you know something's up at the track. But this horse has had 22 times to win already and hasn't gotten the job done. I don't see any indication why it'll do it in the 23rd. Other than that was Michael Jordan's number. Again, $1 exacta box, 9, 10, and 11 for me. Here are all of our picks for today, Terry. Let me just put this back to 100% so you can see them all. Races 1, 2, and 3 are in the books so far. In the first 3 races, the first 3 times we've broken out the comfort zone, Terry, the results are good.
That's right. Looks good.
Indeed. So keep that in mind. Again, if you like the comfort zone, if you like the simulations that we do, you just like Terry, because I know nobody likes me, because anytime we ask anybody, who does everybody love? It's always Terry, 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 Terry. Bet for the day, number 4 win, easy money. Which race, Christopher? In race number 11? Is that where you're at on that one? Now let us know exactly which race you're talking about on the 4 horse as your bet of the day, so everybody can pocket some easy money. We all love easy money. One of the best ways you can get some easy money, Terry, maybe, especially with the college basketball tournaments now in full swing, is to head over with the picks with the professor. There is a link in the description down below. Professor Sides is an actual statistics professor. My man knows math. He knows college basketball pretty well. He say in race number 11, the 4-horse is easy money, Terry, in race number 11. You and I don't have that 4-horse Escalando, so we may indeed pay a price. It could be, I think if I remember correctly, the 4-horse was the lone PC horse in there too, if we go back. And again, when we do this, the lone PC horse, the 4 in here, does have part of the early speed. Should get another one that should get a nice race trip forwardly placed. Just a lot of times when I look back at these maiden claimers, for me, I like the class droppers. Terry thinks this one's wide open. I do too. I hope it's easy money, but, well, I only have a trifecta there. So I hope you hit a winner and everybody hits a winner today, Terry.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be back tomorrow for Gulfstream, right?
Yes, we will be. And the 4 in that last race is my first alternate. So it was part of my pick 4 and pick 5 until that horse got scratched. So
yeah, and as the lone PC, I probably should have had it in there, no worse than my 4th pick. But again, I just went ahead with the class droppers on this, and you do have some advantages with some other horses in there too that probably put it a little bit behind that 7. But honestly, even the NC types, I wouldn't be surprised if any horse won that last race. So I think anything is possible for sure. Tomorrow, again, we're going to do Gulfstream Park. Charles, I think, will finally make it back on Thursday after his excursions off to the West Coast. We'll do Gulfstream again on Thursday. Tonight, again, JD Acosta with our good friend Sean and Julie, I believe. I don't think Jamie is back yet. And then on Friday, again, Foreign Fridays with Tom, with a lot of contribution today. We appreciate everybody's contribution in the comments section, as well as the selections. Any thoughts? It is a community. Everybody wants to be involved in there. And we appreciate that. But we're going to do the Dubai World Cup on Friday, so that should be a good one as well. All right, Terry, any final thoughts before we get up and out of here?
yeah, if you liked what you saw today, then please subscribe on YouTube. Hit the little bell so that you're notified when we're going to go on the air. Give us a thumbs up and likes. Go to our social sites and follow us there on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And give us a thumbs up or a like there. Also, let your friends and relatives and loved ones know all about our show here, especially if you like what you've seen. So.
Indeed. And on Saturdays, we're going to start doing something a little bit different between Terry, Charles, and myself. Instead of going through a whole race card, we're going to pick a pick 5 or pick 6 carryover that has a lot of money in it, because the weekend pools are much bigger usually than you get during the weekdays. So we're going to pick the biggest carryover on the weekend on Saturday, and we're going to break down each race in the carryover. And then Terry and I are going to have a hot dog and a prime rib carryover. That's a pick 4, pick 5, or pick 6. And then we're also going to hack one out together. So there's going to be the combination pick 6 in there, or pick 5, whatever the biggest carryover is. So we're going to try to look to have like a, what would you call that, Terry? Supersized Saturdays with the carryovers, the cash carryovers.
Big money Saturdays.
Big money. Yes, indeed. All right, folks, we do appreciate you joining us as always. We hope that today is a great day for you, that God's grace does indeed shine on you and your family. And of course, we hope that every single thing you do, no matter what it is, Terry, after an hour and a half, ends up in
the winner's circle.
Thanks again for joining us. Have a fantastic, terrific Terry Tuesday.